Hello everyone and welcome to Redwood Shores, California, home to Electronic Arts and of course the Sims 3 team. Today myself and others like me are here to check out the game and see what makes it tick, along with checking out the people who actually make the game possible. So let's head inside and check it out. Everyone, we're here with Sim Guru Britt to talk about the Sims 3 University, and of course it's the next expansion pack coming up for the Sims 3 and it's gonna be awesome. Woo! Thanks Britt for being here today, of course, or I guess me being here to talk to you.
It's both ways. Thank you for being here to talk with me.
Well, thank you for having me, so that's a very interesting way of putting it.
We're very thankful.
So let's jump right into this. First off with University, let's talk about the life stages, or the new life stage. Can you talk about that at all?
I can talk a little. Yeah,
Great.
I can. So yes, the new life stage, I know everybody's been really excited about this. In Sims 3 University Life are plant sims. And we're really excited about the plant sims, actually. I know a lot of people love them from the earlier Sims. Yes. We've heard tons of requests in the forums. We do listen, see? But the plant sims are really fun, actually. So some of the things that you'll remember from Sims 2, plus a few new things, like maybe the ability to talk to plants.
Whoa!
And the plants sort of talk back in their own way. Definitely some really cool looks for these plant sims. I feel like the cast stuff for these sims are amazing. They just look so beautiful.
Well, great. Let's talk more about the university degrees here. Your Sims can go for a degree. How exactly does that work within the game? Can they go for 1 degree at a time or multiple degrees?
Sure. It's 1 degree at a time. So when you choose to go to university, you enroll, and at that point you pick your major. And you obviously pick your class load and everything like that. And then when you're in university, you know, if you get there and you decide that you just maybe hate being a business major and you want to take up a life of fine arts or something instead.
Major change there.
Yes, you know, you can either go ahead and wait through the term and you've got a little bit of business credit under your belt, or you could just drop out and decide, you know, to head back home and maybe, you know, re-enroll again with your fine arts major. But, you know, once you finish, if you really love your business degree, once you've finished it, you can definitely re-enroll and go back for as many, you know, all the degrees that you want. You can have all 6 if you want to. It's pretty hardcore to do it, but you can.
Awesome. So if I get this art major, of course, how does that better my sim when they get back to the real world?
So the fine arts major in particular is a really good example because there are associated careers with every major. So, you know, the base game careers that everyone knows and loves, they all have kind of an associated major. And depending on your grades, so it is important to make good grades, depending on your grades when you graduate, you get career benefits. So, you know, instead of starting at level 1 and kind of like having to work your way up, giving you a degree, you know, you immediately start at a higher level of the career. Fine arts, for instance, benefits music, culinary, you know, the artistic careers.
Gotcha.
And then you also, you know, base pay is higher. More raises, more promotions.
Okay, so the game cues those a little bit faster.
Definitely.
That's great. So, even though we got to keep our grades up, let's talk about partying, and more importantly, like the fraternities. How does that all work within the game? Is it going to be just party all the time, or is there time for some studying?
Okay, yeah, well, part of that's up to you, because you can definitely throw all the parties you want. Naturally, living in a fraternity, you do have more parties happening just kind of ambiently, and for, you know, your roommates are throwing parties, and being kind enough to invite you to their parties.
How nice of them.
Yes, so we're partying in your house. You know, want to come?
Yeah, you want to come?
So yeah, there's definitely more of a party atmosphere, but it's not so crazy that, you know, everybody still goes to class. They still kind of at least pretend to, you know, care about their grades.
That's a good sign. So going to class, this is another big thing. Of course, we've seen a lot of what look like rabbit holes in the game. Can we talk about, do you actually get to go inside and see your Sims in class?
Definitely. So some of those buildings are rabbit holes.
Okay.
Because I think that's still an important part of the experience, right? Like you want to go. I really actually like our rabbit hole classes because they have really cool names and they tell some interesting stories. I think so, like theories of tragic clowns. And
we don't get to see that? Keeps the mystery away.
Well, it kind of actually lets you write in your own story.
That's true.
Know? So then you can imagine what your theories of magic clowns class was really like. But tons of tones for those classes. So, it's not just straight up rabbit hole boring. There's a lot of tones and actually you get feedback from your classmates or your professor based on the tones that you use in there. Your professor will totally, catch you after class and be like, hey, I kind of caught you sleeping. Maybe you should pay attention. Something like that.
Whoops!
But there are out of rabbit hole classroom experiences, which are really, really cool and something we were super excited to work on and try to bring to you guys, because I know everyone wants to occasionally move out of the rabbit hole and see things firsthand.
Right.
So 2 days of the week are devoted to either lectures or class activities.
Okay.
So you've got 4 days of classes and then exams. So 2 of those days you're, going to your rabbit hole class, and then the other days you're going to lectures and class activities. And lectures are really cool because you actually go to the lecture hall in the student union, which is open. It's a bill by venue.
Okay.
Your professor's there. They're lecturing at the podium. They're answering questions. You can ask questions. You can take notes.
Great.
You can sleep. Sometimes that's necessary. And then class activities are actually really cool as well. I kind of think of them as labs.
Okay.
I guess that's maybe an easy way to describe them to the North American folks anyway.
Right.
But everybody from your class, from your major will actually gather. All the fine art students will take their sketchbooks and kind of go hang out in a spot on campus, and everybody's kind of sketching together, and the professor's there moving around, so you get opportunity to interact with your classmates.
That's an interesting. Yeah, I like how that works, actually.
It's pretty fun.
So, talking about the classes, not the classes, but the classes of people.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the nerds, we've got the jocks. What really cool things do each one get? Is there
Oh my gosh, there's a ton, and now you're gonna make me think of them. So yeah, there are 3 social groups,
yes.
and the rebels, the jocks, and the nerds, and each one actually has some really cool benefits. The top benefit, actually, one of the absolute coolest ones, I think, is we really wanted to kind of portray this idea that the people that you meet in university are actually almost as important as the classwork that you do in university.
Okay.
Because a lot of us have stories where, networking or something like has actually just changed our life in a very profound way. I changed my major 3 times because of my friends. So, but
it's a big change, then. Right
it is. So we really want to tell the idea that these social groups actually could affect your life in a very profound way. So every social group actually has a career attached to it, a unique career.
Okay.
And so in gaining, influence with those social groups, you can actually, someone eventually kind of approach you and be like, hey, here's a job as a game developer. You've gotten in tight with the nerds.
Right.
Would you like to be a game developer?
Yes, I would.
You heard it here, folks. So there's some really cool benefits. There are other smaller benefits along the way, like little objects and trinkets and socials that are specific to each group. Nerds can do trivia challenge. Jocks can do some cool stuff with smartphone. So it's
a jock and a smartphone.
Yeah.
Also heard it here first, folks.
So one other really cool thing is the Rebels. Speaking of smartphone,
Okay.
The smartphone actually comes. We haven't talked about this much, but it comes with new skins.
Oh.
So you can reskin your smartphone.
Well, that's fun.
So one of the ways to actually get these new smartphone covers is they're building your social networking skill or building your Rebel influence. And there's some pretty sweet ones, actually. There's actually a new Medal of Honor 3
really?
themed one that's
little cross
really cool.
communication between
Yeah.
2 games there.
I like that one. So.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for, of course, sitting down with me and having me here.
Of course.
This has been my experience with Sim Guru Brittany. We're going to head out and check out some other great stuff happening here at EA. Hey everyone, it's me, Curtis Parody, and we're here with Ryan, head of the Sims team. Yes, of course, right here. I'm going to be asking him a couple of great questions. First off, of course, the big question that you guys had, the big unveil you guys had a couple months ago, or a few months back, 1 month back. why did you guys decide to release the entire Sims 3 schedule for this year?
That's a great question. I think the big part was that we're just really excited about the stuff we have coming out this year. We have some really big expansion packs coming out, starting off with University Life and then following up with Island Paradise in June. And then our secretive futuristic expansion coming a little bit later. I can honestly say I've never been as excited as I am now about our upcoming lineup. I've been focused a lot on Island Paradise, and some of the other team members have been working on the University Life Pack, and there's some really fun stuff, a lot of experiences and a lot of new abilities to tell stories that you guys have been asking for a while. So we're really excited to get you guys that stuff and hear your thoughts along the way.
So because of this announcement, are you guys worried at all that the announcement of multiple expansion packs will overshadow the individual expansion pack release?
It was certainly a concern when we started talking about it, but as we've worked more and more and took a lot of your guys' kind of feedback and example along the way, we know everybody loves The Sims, and we love to give everybody the most knowledge about what's coming up, and so they can plan on what they're looking forward to, and pick out the packs that they love the most. As I mentioned, there's lots of fun stuff coming out, and we want to make sure you guys are up to speed on all the great features coming out and stuff too. So it's definitely a new thing that we're trying, and I think it's working great so far.
Well, that'll be great. I can't wait to see all of the new expansion packs. Now, moving into Island Paradise, because that's going to be coming out after University.
Right.
How many islands are there actually inside of this new town?
There's too many to count right now. There's a lot. There's some really cool features that are going to allow you to explore uncharted islands that you won't see when you first get started in the game. So there's a lot of islands. I was in the world playing a little bit this morning, and I have no idea how many there are. There's big islands, there's small islands, but it is a full world size that's full of ocean and tons of different islands with all kinds of interesting stuff going on.
Well, that's great. And now, of course, one way to discover all those islands is by houseboat.
Right.
Can you explain more about that? Like, how exactly do we find a place for our houseboat? Do they dock to a dock on an island, or are they kind of free-floating throughout all of the islands?
That's a great question. So you're going to start off with a couple different sizes of build-by platforms. There's everything from I believe, an 8x10 all the way up to a much larger size. So there's going to be 3 different sizes, and these are kind of your build-by template. So you have a platform or a hull, we're calling it the hull, and on top of that, you pretty much have free build-by reign to do whatever you want. So you'll start with that, build up a house, build up some kind of container ship. Graham's been playing with it. He even built a trash barge using some of the trash files from Eufy 2. So they're a lot of fun. The key object on that is the command console, where you actually go and direct your sim to go and drive the boat. So you can have a sim that will go to the steering console and start driving the boat around the world. You could have your other sims that are taking a nap or fishing off the back and stuff like that. So houseboats are a lot of fun. They're coming along great, and we can't wait to share more with you guys.
Well, that's going to be really great. I can't wait for that. So what are the limitations when we're actually building on a houseboat? Can we build anything we can on a regular house, or are there certain limitations to objects?
Just about anything you can on a normal lot. The only real limitations are the size, just like you would have with any lot. Anything up from there, you have your standard story height, and you can go down into the hull as well and build out down there. So they're pretty wide open. We wanted to make sure that the experience on the houseboat was just as fun and more so than on a normal lot. So it's all there.
Well, that's going to be great. Now, keeping on with the Island Paradise theme here, how have you guys portrayed the undersea part of this pack, or are you guys even talking about that yet?
We're keeping the details a little close right now. We're still working through it. This pack is still very much in development, but we do have scuba diving, and you will be able to go underwater for the first time. And I'm not just talking about your camera on top of the ocean and your sim disappears. You're going to be able to go beneath the waves, and there's lots of cool stuff coming up down there.
Well, that's great. I can't wait to see what Island Paradise is going to be like, and of course the future of the Sims platform. So that's been our time here with Ryan for the Sims team. Well, that's it for our peek inside of the world of The Sims 3 and the people who helped create it. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here, because I certainly did. This place was freaking amazing. So until next time, I'm Curtis Parody, and that's what's happening now.